Hey, what's up, my little tattletales? Listen, you know I had to come in and put my stamp on things. If y'all didn't know, Mr. West was in the building last night, and he had some interesting things to say about his wives. Now, as you know, I have some opinions on it, but I want for y'all to hear the words out of his mouth and then meet me after the jump so we can discuss. Cause baby, yeah.
I go to him for advice to this day. He inspires so many of my choices, so many of my life choices, my wife choices. And here we are. Thanks for that, Puff.
Now listen, it was nice to see the lighter, more fun, giggly Gemini side of Kanye come out. And honestly, people are like, oh, what's your take on that? What's your take on that? Exactly what he said he was. He literally went to Puff to see advice about his life choices and his wife choices. Now, you know what the interesting thing is? I think low-key he dragged him because he was basically admitting that she was what? Some type of, it was love, but it was also a business arrangement. Again, Jay-Z was his brother. He has a lot of close people. The thing that he said that Puffy actually inspired him in business, everything that he gave bigs up to is how much he inspired him in business, inspired him to make better moves. Now, we all know, no shade to Puffy, but we all know Puffy ain't inspiring anybody on how to have a successful loving relationship. I said it, y'all can fight me. He is not the one. If you want to know how to become a billionaire, go to Puff. If you want to know how to take over, go to Puff. If you want to know how to forge your own way, go to Puff. If you want to know how to steal from all your artists, allegedly, go to Puff. So it's interesting that Kanye was basically saying that he went to him about like, yo, what do you think? Should I wife her? It was strategic. It was a business move. Kanye's made no mistake that Kim was his muse, right? They grew together. Let's not forget when he got with Kim, Kim was the more rich person, but she didn't have any respect. She didn't have any clout. She didn't have any style. She didn't have any taste. But she did have a platform with mainstream America. And say what you want, Kanye getting with Kim catapulted him into the hearts of mainstream America. Again, it was a relationship, but it also was a strategic partnership, one that Puffy encouraged him to take. But like he said, thanks for that, Puff. Puff didn't see that one blind spot, right? You're marrying into a family that, well, we all know. And listen, I'll be honest, while they were together, Kanye and Kim were a beautiful thing. And Kim was always problematic, but she hid behind Kanye as a way to hide from accountability. Kanye was happy to hide her. That was his wife. He loved her, right? But now that she don't have Kanye to hide behind anymore, now she has to answer for her sins. Low key, Kanye might have to answer for his sins too, which leads me to the other interesting thing he said that night about being declared legally dead. Y'all, let's get into his comments. Meet me after the jump because I think I know what he was talking about, or at least I have my opinion. Also, hit that like button, y'all. I'm trying to go. Hit that like button, subscribe, notifications. But all right, damn, let's get into this. Also, if you like Real Housewives of Atlanta, the review is up. Go check that out. Okay.
You know, I took a little hiatus. I said I want to just like declare myself legally dead for a year. Nobody messing me. You know, just like I'm just want to be off the grid. And, you know, Puff is pretty persistent. But I had to think, bro, it's like people, they get amnesia. Like, I should never have Puff have to ever call more than one time. Any of us in this room, if Puff ever need us, we need to jump and be there. This man has been through and survived a lot of stuff and broke down a lot of doors so we could be standing.
Now, that part about being declared illegally dead was such an interesting argument to me because I've been saying it for a while that even though everybody says that they don't have joint assets, Kim and Kanye are literally more entrenched in each other's lives than both of them at this point would care to admit. But let's take a look at what being declared legally dead actually means. And to do that, let's use another crafty Gemini as an example. Prince, for instance, he was the most famous person that declared himself legally dead. Now, this was because it was a long-running dispute with Warner Brothers. Now, if you don't know, Prince has been prolific. He has been profitable. He's pretty much, I don't know, Kanye is the prince of our generation. However, he literally had a dispute with the powers that be, not because they wanted him to produce more, but if you guys didn't know, he had about 500 unreleased albums. Warner Brothers thought that Prince was actually too successful and refused to release new music because they didn't want to oversaturate the market. I know, record companies are idiots, but Prince, for his own logic in doing that, said that the name my mother gave was Prince was the name my mother gave me at birth. Warner Brothers took the name, trademarked it, and used it as the main marketing tool to promote all the music I wrote. You guys, what is the operative word here? Trademark. The Kardashians and Kanye have made the Kardashians have tried to make secret, but Kanye's made no secret of the fact he looks at Kris Jenner as Kim Jong-un. He thinks that they are the evil empire. He thinks that they are racist. Me thinks the same thing. Now, let's ignore the fact that he created this monster and let's focus on what he's doing to actually mitigate his losses. We know that from what the Kardashians did with Dream Kardashian's name, we know what they've done with a lot of people playing low and playing dirty, that they trademark everything. They own everything by right. But the thing is, right, and this is what Kanye was maybe smart enough to realize, you trademark the name Yeezy, but you can't trademark my talent. You can't trademark my vision. As a matter of fact, right, even when it comes to Adidas, Adidas is playing around and he is literally fighting them because they're literally bootlegging their own product. But let's get into how there's analogies to Prince. Prince once famously says, the company owns the name Prince and all related music that marketed under Prince. I merely became a pawn used to produce more money for Warner Brothers. Does this sound familiar? Not just with the Kardashians, but also for Adidas, also for his record label, also for the powers that be. Prince explained quite plainly that the first step I have taken towards the ultimate goal of emancipation from the chains that bind me to Warner Brothers was to change my name from Prince to Symbol. Changing his name was a brave and bold way to maneuver out of his contract so he had more control over what music he released and when. Okay, so we know what's going on with the contracts and him having more control over the contracts. But we need to realize, as Kanye likes to point out to us, he is more than just an artist. He is a designer. He is a collaborator. He is a creator. He is a movement. He literally is a $10 billion empire, self-made, that he did on his own with the help of the very talented people that he also worked with. By literally during his divorce, declaring legally dead, it means all profits that were made off of that name can no longer, and associated with him, can no longer be made. He cannot write the past. He cannot get out of arrangements that he might have gotten into by bad advice, bad encouragement, or just bad instincts, right? He's a grown man. He made his own decisions. However, moving forward, everything he does will be free of not just someone's influence, but anybody profiting from him. Interesting enough, most legal experts are expecting that the remaining parts of Kanye's divorce, which is custody and of course property rights, will actually be dissolved within 1 calendar year of when it all started. Interesting. And he declared himself legally dead for exactly a year period. Again, this is his true emancipation. He is even the fact that he strategically returned to the BET stage, he is returning to the culture. But that's the weird thing with Kanye. He was always part of the culture. It's just sometimes he was the one that turned his back on the culture. He was the one that at times even sold the culture out. Again, every man's accountable for his own sins, and this looks like this definitely is a turning point for him. Listen, I'm all for it. He always moved the conversation forward, and let's see what he does in his new era of Ye. Y'all, Kanye's gone. Welcome Ye into the building. Mr. West is back. All right, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.